Welcome back. Lawyers for Donald Trump and 8 other co-defendants have filed an emergency appeal in the great state of Georgia to remove DA Fani Willis from the election interference case in that state.
Wow. So breaking news, guys. So basically, Donald Trump's team of attorneys, as well as the co-defendants of the Georgia election case involving Donald Trump, 18 other co-defendants, Fani Willis, Nathan Wade, who has recently been removed from the case. And so this is breaking news. I want to discuss this with you guys. I also want to discuss a comment that I received regarding a live video that I released yesterday. And this comment is getting a lot of attention. And I wanted to talk about this really briefly before we get into today's big update regarding Fani Willis possibly being removed with this emergency request to Judge McAfee in the Georgia Fulton County Georgia election case with Donald Trump here. So there's a comment that I received yesterday, and I'm going to leave a link to it. It'll be at the top of the comments on this video. So I'll leave a link for you guys in the description of this video, maybe in a pinned comment or something, if you want to see the comment and if you want to reply to that comment yourself, right? So the comment is actually from Walter Williams 4425. And he's clearly not happy about the perspective that I shared in this video. And if you watch the video, I don't know if you're going to agree with him or disagree with him, but apparently a lot of people kind of disagree. But anyway, I don't want to shadow your opinion, but here goes. So he says, I, as a black man, find your comments reprehensible. The legal system in America has jailed more blacks and Hispanic people for nothing more than the color of their skin. And you want to talk about abuse of power? You sound like a Trump supporter trying to get people to feel sorry for Trump. So this is just part of the comment. So let me read the whole thing and I'll break it apart. After that, he says, I think that you reap what you sow. Mr. Trump has done, I think that you reap what you sow. What Mr. Trump has done and said a lot of racially motivated statements, and you sit there defending him. Bro, look in the mirror. Tell us what you see. I see a black man that aspires to be accepted by white society. Your whole demeanor. I'm just not buying into thought process. Talk about racial injustice first. I'm trying to correct the grammar here. The grammar is not proper here. Before you endorse a man who don't give a damn about you. Okay, so let's go ahead and break this apart because apparently we're not seeing eye to eye here. So the part where he says, I as a black man find your comments reprehensible, fine. Maybe you don't agree with my perspective and, we can all agree to disagree and still be friends. I'm totally fine with that, right? So anyway, he goes on to say that the legal system in America has jailed more blacks and Hispanic people for nothing more than the color of their skin. And you want to talk about abuse of power. Well, okay, so number one, there are so many injustices here in the world and particularly in America that I could talk about. But the issue in the video that I was talking about was related to a case that Donald Trump is involved in New York City, where he's been fined $500 million, an egregious amount of money for a crime that no one was a victim to. So here you have a district attorney in New York City by the name of, she's actually an attorney general in the state of New York, in New York City, by the name of Letitia James, who literally campaigned on, taking down Donald Trump. In the video, I shared clips on when she actually said these things. She marketed her entire campaign based on people's hate and dislike for Donald Trump. And it was a clearly motivated civil case that was conjured up by none other than District Attorney, Attorney General Letitia James. So it's not like someone got burned in a deal with Donald Trump and filed a lawsuit. It's not like the banks that loaned Donald Trump money filed a lawsuit and complained that, he committed fraud and they lost money. No, the banks were very happy with Donald Trump. In fact, the banks and the lenders were questioning, why was this case even brought to the table? Why was it even brought to the floor? So basically, this case was brought to the floor because Letitia James needed some spotlight. She needed some attention. She needed some votes, whatever her motivation may have been. I don't really know whether it's one or all of these, or maybe none. But the simple fact of the matter is that she promoted herself as a person who, if she's in this position, she will go after Donald Trump. Her goal is to take him down. Her goal is to find any type of monies that he may have laundered, allegedly. But basically, it was very clear that she was already convinced that he was guilty before he was being tried. And so this is really an abuse of power. This is an example of an abuse of power. And on top of that, the extent to which she went after this man, and to the extent of the punishment in and of itself is a violation of the Eighth Amendment. The Eighth Amendment basically says that that the punishment should not include, let's see, where's the Eighth Amendment? Let me see if I can find this here. Okay, so the punishment is beyond punitive, and the measures designated are not just to penalize, but to politically and financially disable Donald Trump. And if you look at the Eighth Amendment, it prohibits excessive fines and cruelty and unusual punishment. And this is exactly what this fine is for Donald Trump. This is excessive, it's cruel, and it's unusual. It's excessive because, number one, bond companies, surety bond companies across the world don't even issue bonds greater than $100 million. And so one of the issues that Donald Trump is dealing with right now is the fact that he can't even secure a $450 million bond because the bond companies don't even go over $100 million. So this is clearly well beyond the scope of what is typical, right? And this is across the world. The other thing is this is, let's see. So it's cruel. It is cruel because there's no victim. Who are you vindicating here? So like Letitia James has literally gone and used her power to the point of being excessive. This is cruel and unusual. Again, it's a clear violation of the Eighth Amendment. So going back to your point, going back to your comment here, Mr. Walter Williams, yes, I am talking about an abuse of power. This is not, I'm not talking about this case is not about Donald Trump going to jail. This is a financially punitive case. So when you get upset about me not talking about the fact that America has jailed more blacks and Hispanics than any other color, it's not about that in this particular case. Why would I bring that up? That would be completely irrelevant to the conversation. So anyway, let me go on to the rest of your comment. You sound like a Trump supporter trying to get people to feel sorry for Trump. Trump's not paying me. I don't know Trump. And, I can't even say I'm a Trump supporter because if I look at my voting history, I voted against him one year and I voted for him on another year. So I don't really, I can't even say like I'm really a Trump supporter or I'm a supporter of anyone. I am a supporter of anyone who I believe is good for America, is good for my family, period and point blank. And that may fluctuate from time to time. I may vote for a Democrat one year. I may vote for a Republican another year. I may vote for a Libertarian another year, which is almost a waste of a vote because Libertarians never win. But that's my point. The point is that I support whoever is good for America, whoever is good for me and my family, period and point blank. As a business owner, if you're good for American business, I'm down, so long as there are not any other values that a particular presidential candidate are for that are in violation to another value of mine that happens to be in conflict with that. So, I'm more of an independent. I can't say I'm a Republican. I can't say that I'm a Democrat. I can't say that I'm a Trump supporter. What I can say, though, is I can identify where there is injustice. And whether you're black, white, Hispanic, Indian, Chinese, whatever the case is, injustice is injustice regardless of your race. So it almost sounds like you're like prejudiced or you have some racial, prejudices in you based on your comment. So anyway, you go on to say that I think that you reap what you sow. Mr. Trump has done and said a lot of racially motivated statements, and you sit there defending him. Bro, look in the mirror and tell us what you see. Well, when I look in the mirror, I see a very intelligent, dark-skinned man. Okay, that's what I see. So I probably see exactly what you see. You probably see a very handsome, dark-skinned man who speaks very well and is clearly intelligent. And to that, I say thank you. But with regard to Trump saying a lot of racially motivated statements and me sitting here defending him, it's not so much me defending Trump. I'm more or less looking at the circumstances surrounding this case and identifying that it is purely injustice. So whether it was Donald Trump or it was Elon Musk or it was Denzel Washington, whatever the case may be, or if the Rock Dwayne The Rock Johnson, whoever it happened to have been, in this case, it just happens to be Donald Trump being attacked by Letitia James and, the wild legal system within New York City. But again, regardless of who it happens to be, I would have spoken up on it. So, Donald Trump, let's see, you say that Mr. Trump has done and said a lot of racially motivated statements and you sit there defending him. So again, okay, whether Donald Trump has or hasn't said racially motivated statements, I'm not here to debate that. You may or may not be right. I don't really know. I haven't really kept up with that. But what I am saying is I'm looking at the case that in multiple cases that he's up against. And these cases are clearly an abuse of power, and it's clearly an attack against a presidential candidate. So that's the scope of the conversation. So if you can't keep up with the fact that this is the nature of the conversation here, then maybe this channel is just too far above your level of intellect, and that's okay. Maybe this channel is not for you. Let's see, you go on to say, I see a black man that aspires to be accepted by white society. Your whole demeanor, I'm just not buying into the thought process. Okay, so you don't know me, number one. You say that you see a black man that aspires to be accepted by white society. Dude, you can subscribe, unsubscribe. I don't care who subscribes to my channel. I don't care who likes me or doesn't like me. Do I aspire to be accepted by white society? I don't care if white society accepts me or not. I'm going to be who I am, and whoever likes me and whoever likes my demeanor and the message and my commentary, they're going to watch the channel. They're going to like the video or dislike the video. They're going to subscribe or unsubscribe. They're going to share the video or not. So in all honesty, I'm not trying to appease anyone. So you're clearly off base with that one. And then you want me to talk about racial injustice first. You say talk about racial injustice first before you endorse a man who don't give a damn about you. So first of all, I'm not endorsing anyone. You've never heard me endorse anyone. You can't prove that because I never have. And yes, I will agree with you on the fact that there are definitely racial injustices out there. But you're not going to dictate what I should prioritize, what I cover on my channel. So anyway, good day to you, Sir Walter. I hope you now have a more thorough understanding of my perspective. if I speak too proper for you to a point where you believe that I'm trying to be accepted by white society because of my demeanor, as you put it, then I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. Sorry, I'm not hood like maybe you would expect a black man to be. So anyway, going on to Ashleigh Merchant, who literally is cracking open this Fani Willis, Nathan Wade, Donald Trump case. This came out just not too long ago, and I wanted to talk to you guys about it just because Ashleigh Merchant, I don't think she gets enough credit. And of course, Walter's probably going to be upset about me talking about Ashleigh Merchant because here she is she's a white woman, and I'm giving her props for something that she has actually done. So Walter's probably not going to approve, me talking about this. So I'll just go ahead and say, Walter, you may want to go ahead and hit the pause button or back out of this video at this point, because this part's probably going to upset you. So anyway, Ashleigh Merchant was actually, she's actually not Donald Trump's lawyer. In fact, she's actually the attorney for one of the co-defendants on the Georgia election case, where basically Fani Willis and Nathan Wade were the prosecuting attorneys. Well, the interesting thing is how Nathan Wade and Fani Willis's relationship was discovered. I think that this was very interesting, and I found it very entertaining to hear Ashleigh Merchant break down how this happened, because it looks like Terrence Bradley apparently was the best friend. And I say was because I don't know if they're still best friends now. Apparently, Terrence Bradley was the best friend of Nathan Wade, who ended up, I gotta say accidentally, because I can't believe that he would have done this on purpose, but apparently spilled the beans on the relationship that was being had between Fani Willis and Nathan Wade, which ultimately led to Ashleigh Merchant investigating further and discovering, hey, what's going on here? There's some hanky-panky going on. So, and again, Terrence Bradley was not only the best friend of Nathan Wade, according to Ashleigh Merchant, but he was also and may also still be the attorney representing Nathan Wade for his divorce. So anyway, I want you guys to listen to what Ashleigh Merchant says, and I got to find the part of the clip here because I didn't bookmark it, but where Ashleigh Merchant explains how she discovered that there was something that needed to be dug into a little bit further with regard to Fani Willis and Nathan Wade. So hang on one second while I find this for you guys. You're going to find this very interesting. Take a listen.
Fani Willis was not supposed to go on the stand. What were your thoughts when she says, obviously was going terribly in the morning. So she lines up and she just launches into that seat. What are you thinking? I know you know the case, and I know why you brought it forward, and its relationship is what had this judge entertain it. So what are you thinking?
I mean, at that point, I was surprised that she came in, but I would want to defend myself if someone had made allegations that I was claiming was false. Sure. What surprised me was that she didn't bring anything to actually back it up. So if someone had accused me of wrongdoing, I'm going to bring my phone. I'm going to bring my text messages. I'm going to bring my bank records. So that surprised me that she didn't bring any actual proof. We just were stuck with her word that she paid back these transactions in cash. I would have brought transaction slips. I would have brought a lot of information if I had planned on taking the stand. But it definitely surprised me, and we're not supposed to be watching the proceedings as a witness when they're going on. The fact that she knew exactly when to come in, I got to ask her about that on the stand, but it appeared as though she had been watching the proceedings, so that was a little bit surprising as well.
She's lied. That means she lied. She said she wasn't supposed to be watching. She clearly lied. She lied over and over again, and she seems to be getting away with it to a degree.
Yes, and I think the judge pointed that out in his order. He talked about her demeanor on the stand. That's not what I think you would expect to see from the sitting district attorney, from a lawyer on the stand. I understand she was defensive, but being defensive is one thing. Bringing proof, bringing evidence to support your claims, that's a whole different story. And then just really lashing out the entire time at how angry you are for being victimized, in her words, that was a little bit surprising.
Ashleigh, you said that people are coming out of the woodworks with more leads, and you give an example talking about the forfeiture funds. Explain to our audience what that is.
Yeah, so there's a lot of different funds that the district attorney gets. They get federal funds, they get state funds, and particularly what you were asking about is forfeiture funds. That's when the government takes someone's property or takes someone's money. And then the district attorney has those funds and they're able to use them. The thing is, the law has very specific requirements for how you can use those. And so she's getting federal forfeiture money, and that is being used to pay Nathan Wade. We've tracked over $100,000 in payments to him just from forfeiture funds.
And you're not allowed to do that, right?
That's one of the things that's being investigated.
You're not allowed to pay lawyer fees out of federal forfeiture funds, right?
You are not.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
So
$100,000.
was talking about how people now, after you went on TV and this case was revealed, are coming out of the woodwork with other details about what went on between the two of them. But it all started with a tip.
Yep.
Who told you guys, hey, you know what I just saw?
Oh boy.
Where'd that come from?
Here you go.
Right. That came from Nathan Wade's best friend and law partner. So at the time, they were law partners, and he represented him in a divorce proceeding, which when he told me this tip, I didn't even know he represented him in the divorce proceeding. I had no idea. I thought they were just law partners and friends. But he's the one that tipped me and another one of the attorneys off and started talking about all of the different things that he had witnessed. And so we started investigating and follow up and do, things called open records requests. And
First of all, man, I don't even know how Nathan Wade and Terrence Bradley could remain friends, much less best friends. And I don't even know if I could even have Terrence Bradley continue to represent me as an attorney. Like, first of all, why would you as a prosecutor, Nathan Wade would be the prosecutor here, right? Why would you have your best friend, who's also an attorney who understands the game, be friendly chatting with the opponent? The opponent is Donald Trump's and the co-defendant's defense team. So why in the world was Terrence Bradley even just chatting it up and being all loose, as my mom would say, loose lips sinks ships, right? Why would you just be hanging out and just casually chatting away, giving away valuable information to the opposite team? That's like scoring a goal in the wrong basket. Like, I don't even understand that.
talk to other witnesses and sort of verify all that information.
But I just want to bring up this. You also revealed the invoices and the meetings in Athens with White House counsel.
So anyway, guys, I just wanted to quickly share that with you because I thought that was very interesting. And this is something that I had pointed out. I didn't hear a lot of other channels talking about it, but I don't think Ashleigh Merchant gets enough credit, because if it weren't for the identification of this relationship that ended up being denied and later exposed for, basically lying and perjury during testimony, I don't think that this case would necessarily be going in the direction that it's going right now. The case has moved so far away from Donald Trump at this point. It is unbelievable. It has literally become the Fani Willis and Nathan Wade case. Oh, by the way, we're supposed to be prosecuting Donald Trump for election interference. So now, this has literally blown the case wide open to a point where Fani Willis's office is apparently going to be investigated for a number of different allegations related to, misuse of federal funds, as well as other things. Nathan Wade was ultimately removed from the case, or he voluntarily removed, because Judge Scott McAfee basically gave them an ultimatum. One of y'all got to go. So Nathan Wade gracefully bowed out. And now Fani Willis is under investigation as well. This is just it, and so ultimately what could happen is there's an appeal. There's an appeal that will be filed. In fact, I think it has already been filed for the Georgia case, and we're going to see what the judge decides, if the judge is going to approve the appeal. This ultimately delays this case. It may throw the case out entirely. It may end up removing Fani Willis from the case altogether. At a minimum, it definitely delays things. So if nothing else, it runs the clock out as if we were playing, some sport, football or basketball or whatever. So you're running the clock out. And the thing is the goal is, if I'm Donald Trump, I want to get this case thrown out entirely. But if I can at least get this case pushed back till after the election, if I can win the presidential election, if I'm Donald Trump, then I can pretty much make this whole problem go away. So if I can delay this for a good, November, let's just call it 7 or 8 months. If I can delay this about 8 months, then I'm good, which could very well happen, especially if they end up throwing the case out, or especially if they end up removing Fani Willis from the case. It would take some time to find a new prosecuting attorney, get them up to speed, and to actually book the start of the new trial. So anyway, if you guys like the video, definitely hit the like button. Share this video to get more awareness out there for what is going on. If you want to see more content like that, feel free to subscribe to the channel. Thanks for hanging out, and I'll see you guys on the next one.